The Nobel Prize in Literature will not be awarded this year. The Swedish Academy made the announcement and said that 2018 prize will be awarded in 2019 instead. The Academy clarified it is in no shape to pick a winner after a string of sexual abuse allegations and financial crimes scandals. It will be for the first time since 1943 that the prestigious award will not be given away. The Academy's permanent secretary, Anders Olsen, in a statement said, and I quote, "We find it necessary to commit time to recovering public confidence in the Academy before the next laureate can be announced. The Academy is acting out of respect for previous and future literature laureates, the Nobel Foundation and the general public," unquote. The Academy is locked in an internal quarrel. Sexual assault charges were levelled against French photographer Jean-Claude Arnault. He is the husband of Academy member Katrina Frostenson. And on this issue, I am joined by my colleague Aisha Sindhu from the newsroom. Aisha, tell me, was this decision coming? Was it much anticipated, or it's a sudden decision which has taken everyone by surprise?
The former, Kartikeya, most definitely. It has been a long time coming. There have been allegations, of course, levelled against the photographer Jean-Claude Arnault, who happens to be the husband of one of the members of the Nobel Laureate Committee. And these allegations date back to 2013 to 2015, where 18 women had accused the photographer and cultural icon of sexual assault. Now, the Academy has been accused of dragging its heels on the issue of not having an open-ended discussion on how, or rather an open discussion on how exactly to deal with this issue. Let's not forget, this also comes in light of the Me Too movement. There have been multiple, demonstrations that have been carried out across the world on the impunity with which sometimes sexual offenders get away with things, especially if they are in the public limelight. So it has been a decision a long while coming, and I should add that this isn't the only reason why this decision was taken by the Nobel Academy. Additionally, there have been charges also against Arnault of leaking names of possible winners in a betting sort of scandal associated with the Literature Prize. So keeping all of this in mind, the Academy, for the first time since World War II, has decided to allow for the announcement of 2 winners next year.
You know, Aisha, can we say that the Me Too movement has actually changed the landscape when it comes to the issue of sexual harassment of women to a certain degree, that certain organizations, associations are now responding to that pressure?
Absolutely, and I should say men and women, Kartikeya. It's not just women who've come forth with stories of sexual exploitation at the hands of powerful people. Kevin Spacey, for instance, a Hollywood icon, has been accused by another male actor of sexual assault. So this goes beyond gender, and this goes beyond the binaries. It's also about power dynamics that play a very pivotal role in situations such as these. Just this morning when we broke this story, the conversation had veered towards, whether or not the Academy had reactively decided to do this. In my humble opinion and, understanding of this situation, it seems like the Academy is taking proactive steps because it wants to restore the prestige, the honor associated with the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's not forget, it is a matter of great prestige for the Swedish people themselves. It's not just about the Academy. It's also about how the Swedish people look at the prize and the fact that they are part of a system that endows, the excellence in different arts and sciences. So it's also about preservation of history and of the prestige of this award.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you so much for this perspective on this issue. The fact of the matter is that yes, the world has actually reacted, and certain powerful organizations actually reacted after the Me Too movement gained momentum in Europe and in America. Twitter has urged its 330 million users to change their passwords. This after a glitch caused some passwords to be stored in readable text on Twitter's internal computer system. The social network disclosed the issue in a blog and series of tweets, saying it has resolved the problem. Twitter also said that it has found no indication that passwords were stolen or misused by insiders. Still, the microblogging site urged all users to consider changing their passwords. In a statement, the Twitter said, and I quote, "We fixed the bug and have no indication of a breach or misuse by anyone. As precaution, consider changing your password on all services where you have used this password." And on this issue, I'm joined by my colleague Ankit. Everyone has, anyone on a mobile phone, smartphone with a Twitter handle has received the warning. Is it only about the fact that there was a glitch, or is there more to the story which is being reported through the world?
Karthikeya, first of all, it's really important to understand that we shouldn't be considering it to be a hacking attempt. We should not mistake it for a cybercrime. We need to understand the process, how companies actually save passwords. So what happens whenever we log in to a new service, companies store our passwords, and those passwords are stored in a hashed way. When we say hashed, what does it mean? So hashing is basically a process in which companies convert our passwords into unreadable format. So whenever they store those passwords, they are stored in an unreadable format. But what happened in this case was that a glitch marred the internal system of the company, and as a result of which certain passwords were left exposed. Basically, those passwords were not hashed passwords. In fact, they were passwords which could have been read by anybody. And those passwords were kept on the internal system for months. And the company recently discovered this glitch. So we need to understand that it was not a cybercrime, it was not a hacking attempt, it was definitely a technical glitch that left some of the passwords exposed.
But Ankit, you're saying that it's not a cybercrime issue. It's an issue of a glitch, and it was noticed by the company. But there was an exposure internally, at least in context of the employees at the Twitter headquarters and the people who had Twitter handle. And how many accounts? What was the volume in terms of the users and the exposure which took place?
So Karthikeya, another important thing to understand here is that the word internal is very important here. The company said in a blog post that those passwords were left exposed on an internal system, which means that the employees of the companies may have had access to all those passwords. But according to the company, those passwords were not stolen, they were not accessed by anyone. That is what the company is saying. We have no information as to how much accurate this piece of information is. But the company is saying that those passwords were not stolen, they were not accessed by anyone. And talking about the number of accounts who were affected, it's been discovered by people who had access to the entire process that the number was quite substantial. However, there is no clarity on the number as to how many accounts were affected.
Thank you. Thank you, Ankit, for giving us this perspective on this issue on Twitter, because it's something which is used by everyone. As many as 124 people have been killed already, and now more storms could be wreaking havoc across India. The Indian Ministry of Home Affairs has warned the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bengal, Bihar and Odisha of another approaching storm. The Home Ministry says thunderstorms accompanied with squall is likely to hit these states today. Similar bad weather is also expected in parts of Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura. The warning comes even as 124 people have been killed due to storms over the last 2 days, mostly across north and western part of India. And the important part is that storms were far more severe than what was expected by the Met Department. That's the first part. And secondly, it affected the poor people the most. Many people died in districts like Agra. Many people died in western Rajasthan because of the storm, the dust storm, which enveloped the western part and the central part of India. The storms were accompanied by rain, thunderstorm, and impacted thousands and thousands of people. And I'm joined by my colleague Jessica from News. Jessica, is it correct to say that there is a proposal that the warnings can be somehow synchronized with the mobile phone users so that whenever there is a storm in certain part of the country, those messages can go? Because the lesson learned from this is that storm was far more severe than the warning which was given out by the Met Department.
Absolutely, Karthik. And the information we're getting is that the Home Ministry has also warned certain states that the storm might intensify. We've already seen what happened in Uttar Pradesh in the past few days. Over 124 people have died due to that dust storm. And some of the details that are coming out from the Met Department, they say the cause of this disastrous storm, in fact, is because of there is no moisture in the air. Although the weather is humid at this point in time, but the atmosphere is missing, amounts of moisture in the air, which in fact would have prevented this whole catastrophe or the weather conditions that have become so intense over the past few days.
You stay with me, Jessica. This powerful dust storm has killed 114 people and injured 143 more in North India. The storms uprooted trees and electricity poles and brought down walls and houses in Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh on Wednesday night. Some were also killed by lightning. At least 27 persons were killed and over 100 injured as strong winds and dust storms hit Alwar, Bharatpur and Dholpur districts, leaving a trail of destruction and uprooting hundreds of trees. The Alwar Power Distribution Company said it would take them at least 2 days to restore electricity to the area. Jaipur too witnessed a dust storm like other parts of the state, while 9 people died in Bharatpur. 3 each lost their lives in Alwar and Bharatpur. Officials said the death toll may rise to about 150. Animals have also been killed. Rajasthan's Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje has implemented relief work and efforts are on to restore utilities. According to officials, most deaths have happened in homes after they collapsed. The Agra district of Uttar Pradesh, home to iconic Taj Mahal, was also one of the worst hits. Thankfully, the monument has escaped any damage. Officials confirmed that there have been 46 deaths in the state. Jessica, before I let go of you, is there a similar warning for next 48 hours, 72 hours in other parts of the country?
Exactly, Karthikeya, because we'll just read out the statement from the Met Department earlier today. They said that a warning has been issued to that such storms would be very frequent in the next 3 days. States that need to watch out are West Bengal, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, even Assam, Meghalaya, and towards Nagaland and Mizoram and Tripura will be experiencing heavy, thunderstorms and heavy showers as well. So this particular warning that has been coming out from the Met Department clearly goes out to say that these states need to be prepared for these storms that are going to sort of affect these particular states in the next 72 hours.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for this update. Now.